Hey everybody. Sorry about the slight delay. I was just trying to make sure that everything was good and green here with the stream. Looks pretty good and solid so far. Um, want to tell you that I appreciate everybody that is stopping by for the stream. I see DK, Bill. Appreciate it, guys. Um, so with today's stream, it's my typical Sunday discussion, which is kind of similar to a podcast. And I will be uploading this to the different podcast sources at BeanPod and iTunes podcasts after the discussion is done. And as always, I invite you, the viewers, to participate as much as possible in the discussion. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts on some of these things. And today, I know it's a little bit of a rehash. Oh, hey, Yvonne and Franz. Um, it's kind of a little bit of a rehash. This is uh, it's basically one that I had set up, but I ran into some major technical glitches the last time I tried to run the economy discussion. So we kind of only got through about half of it. And with that one, it was originally slated to also discuss squad gameplay and War Robots, but with the recent uh, information that came out from Pixonic, basically saying that next week is going to be the update where we get pilots. I thought I would go ahead and rehash pilots again because even though I don't think much has changed on the pilots, I think now that it's inevitable and we know when it's coming, it's kind of going to happen. Hey, what's going on, Kamikaze? Thanks for stopping by. I did send you a message though, Kamikaze. Check your Facebook Messenger and hit me back that way. Just I had a question for you. But anyway, so yeah, this podcast, this discussion is your platform as players. Um, I don't know if anybody from Pixonic watches. I don't know that anybody other than just players are going to be listening. But you know what? Sometimes it's good to just kind of discuss these things. So that's what it is here for. And with today's stream covering pilots and economy, I brought back Vox or Dark Warrior from Clan Vox and Sullívan from our own Clan Boom. Both of them are on iOS, but Economy and Pilots. So we don't want to forget them. But yeah, this is something that is definitely going to affect everybody in the game. So let's kind of get into that discussion. And if you guys haven't yet, please hit that like and subscribe to the channel. I do this once a week. It's always a different topic, and you know. I don't know how we're going to do today because I think last week we had the ladies of WR, and that's going to be a tough one to follow. But we're going to do our best, and we're going to get into it here right now. Let me pop over into voice chat with Sullívan and Dark Warrior, and we will get things kicked off.
Make sure. I want to make sure that there are no external circumstances that screw me over. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Chief.
Just pulling you guys over here into the discussion now, so everybody in YouTube can hear you guys. Steel Pulse, No C. It looks like we have quite a few new names out there. Metal Dragon, WR. Um, uh, is it Calamero? I don't know. But anyway, anybody, once again, anybody that's new to this stream, feel free. Once we get into the discussion, I want to know your thoughts, your uh, ideas, whatever it is. Just and if you have questions, throw them out there. I've got the guests here. They're pretty much going to be talking with me, talking with you, and we're just going to kind of let it go. None of this has been scripted. I don't exactly know what these guys are going to say about these issues, but we're here, and let's get down to business. Um, Sullivan, Dark Warrior, if you guys want to quickly say something about yourselves, that would be great.
Okay. Go ahead, Sullivan.
Oh, age before beauty, huh? My name is Sullivan. It's my in-game name also. I've been playing for about 2 years. I have a mid-level champion account. I have an account that's knocking on the door of Masters that I never play, and I have an account that's in Gold 1 that's almost into Diamond League that I almost never play. I have a lot that I want to say, so when I start talking too much, Brian, it's up to you to shut me up, okay?
All right. My name is Brian. My in-game name is Dark Warrior. Clan Vox on iOS. Been playing for about 2 years. Really enjoy the game. My favorite part is the community. Made a lot of friends through this game. And that's about it.
Okay, so as both of you guys know, today's discussion topics are going to be economy in general, and then some more specific topic of pilots. You guys know that pilots are going to be released next week, according to the information that was released by Pixonic. So they're coming, and there's not much we can do about it at this point. So let's kind of talk it out and see. I want to know what you guys think. Good idea, bad idea?
Where do you want to start? Pilots?
Well, you know what? That's a good question, and it's kind of up to you guys. I think the economy stuff we can kind of talk about as we go, because it's going to kind of mix in with pilots, I think, at some point. Economy certainly has an effect on the pilots that are coming in the gold cost. But
absolutely. One thing, I just said this to Chief, that this is probably all he knows about my feelings on the pilots, but I said that we had a few clanmates who specifically pointed out that they're the pilots in their mechs. I think that Pixonic dropped the ball when they started introducing pilots that we hire to pilot our mechs. I don't think that's a good idea. However, going back to movies from my youth, because I'm pretty damn old, movies like Star Wars, where you had an astromech droid who helped you pilot your ship. Why the hell didn't they do something along those lines? I definitely would have coughed up money for an R2-D2 or a BB-8. Wouldn't you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, as far as pilot goes, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I think I'm more of a Star Trek guy, so I mean, I could kind of see like a, holographic or a computer interface programmed with certain tasks. I mean, I definitely think something like that would have been a little better story. But I mean, I guess they're getting more story out of these pilots with the factions and all that. So
I understand where they're trying to get their storyline from, but I never actually saw this as a war. I always just saw it as some kind of a futuristic football game.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it never struck me as a real war because, what war lasts 10 minutes? What war has a time limit for that matter?
Did you see that movie Alita Battle Angel?
I have not yet.
They kind of had like a same type of idea you're saying. They had a game that they played that was really big. But
see, I think that would make a lot more sense. But I'm going to say a lot of things that people aren't going to like, so this is number one.
Well, you mentioned the battle droid, or you're talking about maybe having like a computer interface or something. Star Trek, may the Force be with you. Whatever the case is, I guess I'll play the bad guy here. I kind of like the idea of pilots.
Okay.
Anything that allows me to further customize what I am piloting, and I don't care what they call them. They can call them pilots, they can call them, stagehands, they can call them cowboys. I don't care. They're nothing but a really complex module, and I think I've mentioned that before. So, and maybe that's because I haven't been playing for 4 or 5 years like a lot of people, and I haven't been called a pilot for 4 or 5 years. I've only been playing for, less than a year, and, I don't really care what it is. Personally, I'd rather they let us customize the paint maybe before they get into all this real intricate stuff that they're bringing out with pilots, but that's me.
I completely see where you're coming from. The pilots as being modules, I definitely want to touch on that. But first, I just want to say this. I think they're missing out on something here. Whether it's an astromech droid, whether it's a computer module that you can move from your Invader to your Inquisitor to your Aujun, whatever it might be, they're missing out on something. Because if you remember the TomTom from many, many years ago, it was one of the first GPS that you could get cheap and throw into whatever car you were driving. You could customize the TomTom to speak to you in whatever voice you wanted, whether it be an American accent, British accent, an Australian accent, whether you wanted it to sound like Cyndi Lauper or Ozzy Osbourne. You could purchase these voices to go with your TomTom, so you could have Ozzy Osbourne curse you out every time you miss a turn. I think they're missing an opportunity to sell voices for their built-in modules in your bot. Each bot could have its own voice. Each bot could have Jarvis or Friday or what have you.
Of course, that may add too much code to the system.
I think that kind of code would exist on your iPad.
Oh yeah.
So I could be wrong, and I probably am, but I believe that would exist on your iPad, so it wouldn't add to the lag.
Yeah.
But I think this is just something that they could have done, but they didn't talk to me. Stan, call me. You never call.
That being said, I personally think pilots are a good idea no matter what they call them. I think the ability to have whatever customization you want, and then to have some features become, if the opposing force has 3 beacons on you or 4 beacons, you get this extra power. I think anything to give certain bots more power, more variety, and break this. I don't think this alone is going to break it, but just the dominance of some. Okay, so if you have this, your Corona is going to become tighter spread, do more damage. Your Avenger is going to become, your bot is going to repair constantly. I think that kind of thing is a neat idea, instead of just boosters, just an across the board 5%. I think it is the entire benefit is a neat idea.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, and I think the fact that it's not just a straight up, oh, we increased your damage, we increased your health. It is definitely a lot more interesting, and it definitely gets the player more into the game. And there is one thing that they have to consider: this is a mobile game, so that there are a lot of players who, may play it while standing in line at the deli, but the 3 of us are at the point now where that's definitely not the case. Right. And I would like to think that there are a lot of people who don't just play it out just whenever they need to be distracted. So we're not talking to the people who are standing in line at the Circle K. We're talking to the people who have a setup where they play this game. And for that, the pilots are a cool addition. But I don't think pilot is what it should be.
Okay, so just real quick, looking over the chat, it looks like Bill was asking how much will the pilots cost, and I just wanted to kind of try to answer that for him. And based on the information we have right now, which is nothing more than the videos that have been released by Pixonic, it looks like the legendary pilots, and I believe there's like 8 of them for different robots, they're going to cost 2,500 gold just to hire them, and then the regular pilots are I think the price is going to vary depending on what level you get them. Like every hour they're going to refresh, show you 3 possible pilots you could hire, and the price is going to be lower for a level 1 pilot, and they can go all the way up to level 10. At least they did on the test server. So you kind of have to pick and choose which one you're going to get, because if you get one at level 10, that's that much less time you have to have him on the robot getting his experience. But the real cost isn't how much it is to hire them. It's the cost to level them up, which is something like 1,000 gold each time you get to a new promotion. And then if you want to change a training, it's another 1,000 gold. So if you change your makeup of your robot, or you want to put the pilot on a different robot, it's going to cost you 1,000 gold every time. That's kind of a good pairing into the economy portion of this discussion.
Question: How much of a difference do you think that the pilots are going to make overall? Will it be a complete game changer, or will they just be a nice enhancement?
Based on what I saw on the test server, if somebody puts enough thought into what they do with the weapons and or robot boosts, I think it could be a game changer. But I think for the average player that just looks at it and just picks a random, buff to their robot or their weapon, it may not be a game changer. It might just be a small enhancement. But there's definitely some OP builds that are going to be coming out.
Okay. All right. So those players who really invest the time and the game, this can definitely make a difference.
Okay. And looks like we got a few other people. A lot of salty people. Yeah, there are some salty people out there, and sometimes there's cause for the saltiness. I'm not too salty. I try to keep it fun. I rely on this game to be fun. Is the economy messed up? Yes. Are they bringing out all kinds of crazy content? Yes. Is a lot of the game pay to win? Yes. Am I gonna, but I'm not focusing on that. I'm playing the game with my friends to have some fun, and that's what I'm going to focus on.
Are you looking for a free game to play? Because I hear Fortnite is free to play, and a lot of people are playing it. If this is a game that I really and truly enjoy, and I've found some great people that I love to hang out with and joke with and play with, and I'm at an age where I don't have that much free time, so I would rather spend a few dollars to save myself some time. But this is the kind of game that definitely promotes gameplay. The more you play, the more you get. So if you don't have the time to play it all, you can pay instead of playing. But, it's what's important to you. I have, as I said at the beginning, I have a Champion League account. I have an account that's knocking on the door of Masters, and I have an account that's knocking on the door of Diamond. And those 2 bottom accounts, I haven't spent any money, and I'm doing just fine. And it's expectations, monitoring your expectations, and knowing how to play. And I know I'm going to piss off a lot of people by saying, you can complain all you want. But I had a conversation with a guy on another famous YouTuber's live stream who was complaining up and down that he can't advance, he just can't get the stuff that he wants, and he's getting pounded all the time. And then come to find out that he's in Gold League and he's been playing for 2 years. So that tells me either he's a horrible pilot or he really doesn't play that much. I mean, you can't play for 2 years and be a Gold League. Am I wrong?
Nope, because I would say look at look at Ben. I mean, he was rocking a Columbus pin. I think it was Griffin he was using back before I joined Vox, and we were playing, and 17 Ninjas was still in, and he was doing like really good damage and stuff. And now he's well in the champion, and he doesn't have. I don't think he has any Mark II weapons. I know his bots aren't.
Even in champion,
but he knows how to play. He knows how to move around. He knows what he should attack. So,
well, it's skill.
I'm a little bit with Sullívan on this. Is I have my main account, and yeah, money gets spent on my main account. I don't deny that, and I don't mind doing it because for me, it's a lot of hours of entertainment every month, and that's how I view it. So I'm okay with it. But I also have a free-to-play account, and some of you that might be new to my channel might not, remember the videos, but I was able to get my free play alt account, didn't spend a dime on it, and I was able to get him within only like a month and a half, 2 months, all the way up into Champion League with level 5 robots. So you can advance, you can play, you can do it. And you know what? He has a couple of the premium robots too. Why? Because I was able to get it through a giveaway, or I was able to make them in the workshop. Is it easier from my main account? Yes, it is. It is 100%. And do I believe some of the gripe is valid? I do. I absolutely do. And that's kind of Kamikaze. He's watching the stream right now. He started a protest. Am I going to join his protest? No, I'm not. I'm not. And I explained why. This is a game I keep for fun, and I don't mix politics in with my gaming in any way. But I did offer him this platform, maybe next weekend if he's available, to join me so we can talk about it, and so that the community can hear from him and ask him questions live. Hey, what is this all about? What's the real complaint? What are you trying to get out of it? Because right now, it's just, he made a video and there's people spreading the word, and that's it. I'm not, I don't know. I don't want to get too much off on a tangent on that, but like Sullívan said, you can earn this stuff. When the pilots drop next week, right? I don't have 100,000 gold sitting on my account. Even with my pay account, I don't have 100,000 gold sitting ready to just buy all these pilots, try and get them maxed up right away. It's not going to happen, right? My free play accounts, it's definitely not going to happen. It's going to be a while before I can get pilots on that. And you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay with that, because I get out of this game how much energy I put into it. And that kind of goes with what Sullívan said. If the guy's in Gold League after 2 years, he's obviously not playing very much. So, I mean, because you can accidentally trip and fall and you're in Diamond or Expert League. I mean, really, you can. But I don't know what else to say on that. But I want you guys to understand, as the viewers, that just because I might have a certain opinion on something, I don't have a final say on it. And you know what, this platform, I want to hear your opinions too, and I'll bring people on that share your opinions if I can. I've got a message here I've been staring at here. Steel Pulse mentioned the pilot's nothing more than MK4 money spinner, which will only divide the War Robot community even further. More players will leave, and less new players will have. They'll have less motivation to get to top Champion League. I don't know. Maybe that's some valid points.
Here's the reason that I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm sure people will leave. I'm sure people will get fed up. I'm sure people will get frustrated and just walk away from the game. But as I said, I just recently logged into my 2 alts, and I played them a little bit. And every game I played, I was always in the top 3, and 75% of the time I was in the first place. only because I understand the game. I understand how the game works. I know what you have to do to win. And I'm running around with Leo and a Fujin with Punishers and a Swiss Army build on my Griffin with an Orkin and a Columbus. And I'm putting out over 1 million damage. And I have no modules at all. And I'm not running any boosters except for the few free ones that I can get on these accounts. And I'm doing just fine because it's the experience that I have earned over the last couple of years that makes all the difference.
Right, and there's a little discussion here going back and forth about the protests and some of the sponsored YouTubers. They're being silenced or something by the company. They can't share their actual opinion, and you know what, I after being in the military for almost 20 years, I can tell you there are times and places where you can say things, and then there's times and places where you just don't. And these guys, they are a face, a mouthpiece for the company, but they don't get paid. I don't know if they signed a contract or anything like that with Pixonic saying that they can or disagree with things. I know most of them have vocalized things and subjects that they have disagreed with. But I'm not going to try bringing them on my show and saying, hey, why aren't you doing this, or why say this bad thing about the company, because that's just not professional. And for those bigger YouTubers, it's a profession of sorts. I mean, so I don't know if Manny has a day job, or if he just does YouTube stuff. But so I think maybe a little less, put onto their shoulders, because I think they tactfully try to approach these subjects, but they're maintaining a professional stance, and I'm not going to fault them for that. But anyway,
agreed. I mean, I'm with you. I was talking to a YouTuber, I'm sorry. He doesn't do videos for War Robots anymore. At least I don't think he does. Stupendous. And he had said that he had spoken with Pixonic, and Pixonic just said, just keep doing what you're doing. Say what you say. I mean, just if you're going to say something negative about us, just be nice about it. You don't have to call us names. That's, as far as I understand, the communication, the camaraderie between Pixonic and the YouTubers. I think that's about as far as it goes. Pixonic is just like, listen, we want to know your opinion. Just don't be nasty about it.
Okay. I don't want to get too far on the tangent of how we're going to protest. I'd kind of like to just bring it a little bit closer to the to the vest here, and refocus a little bit more on the exact topics, and I appreciate that both the economy and pilots are I mean, they're topics that we all are going to be very vocal about, and we're all going to have very strong opinions over, and I want to cover that. I want to be able to hear your opinions and have my guests' opinions and give my opinion, but I want to make sure that we're doing it in a focused way, in a way that might actually help the community. I mean, we can log on to Facebook, and there's 100 groups for War Robots where we could just be as salty and angry and as we want. Here, if you disagree with it, cool, let me know. What can we do to fix it? Is a protest the right answer? I don't know. Are there positives out of it? Let's, I mean, I think there are. And the economy. I see here that, was it, Kamikaze mentioned, that there are still a bunch of, there's a bunch of problems with the game that still need to be addressed. Personally, I think economy is the number one thing that needs to be addressed with this game, because economy is what drives people to spend the money, right? Economy is what dictates. Sorry if my dog's barking. The economy is what dictates how quickly we get robots, how much we can get out of our workshop, how much gold we get and we have available. Can we afford that paint job as a free-to-play player? That's what the economy is. It's broken, absolutely broken. It needs addressed. I struggle with my, pay-to-win account, if you want to call it that, to have enough silver to upgrade my stuff. My free-play account is broke, absolutely broke from trying to upgrade with silver, and I'm using the tricks and tips to try and boost my silver and my gold. What can we do as a community?
I'm torn. I don't know how Brian feels about this because he is an elite player and he plays in an elite clan as far as I'm concerned. But I know that if you're a free-to-play player, I don't think you can expect to run with the big dogs and beat them every time, or even beat them 50% of the time. It's the same thing in racing. It's the same thing in baseball. People complain that the Yankees are so good because they spend so much money on players. Well, yeah, okay. Same thing with John Force and drag racing. It's his life. That's what he does. He spends money to win drag races. It's the same thing with this. If you're a free-to-play player, then theoretically this should be a casual game that you enjoy to play. If it's more than that and you want to put some money into it, you might be able to do a little better that way. Invariably, the best way to get better is to watch videos that Chief puts out, watch videos that Adrian puts out, watch videos that the other YouTubers put out, and learn to play better. Am I wrong?
No, and I definitely agree with learning to play better, getting those high damage weapons that get you silver, and that's one of the things that made a big switch for me was, I was just kind of casually playing when I started. I was up buying hovers and upgrading our ballast and all this, crazy stuff. But then I started, watching, well-known Adrian's videos and stop wasting silver, stop having 3 hanger decks that are all level 6, 7 and focus on high damage weapon. That kind of thing helps out with the silver. And that's a lot of, you see that a lot. You see 2, 3 mid-level hangers or bad weapons, leveled up, as far as that goes.
No, I think you're onto something too. While I openly admit that the economy is just it hasn't been adjusted with where the direction they're putting the game in, so they really need to fix that. But some of the difficulties with the economy, I kind of what you're saying, or what I'm hearing you say, it's based on choices we've made as players. If I want to have 3 hangars or 5 hangars of robots, it's going to be real hard to get enough resources to max them all out, but if I streamline it and I go with 1 hangar, these are the robots, these are the weapons, stay focused, and I get things maxed out.
Yeah.
All right, and
Good.
so
Good.
I'm absolutely guilty of that, at least on my main account. That's why I'm broke. I have 2 hangars, a long range and a main hangar for brawling. I usually do most of the time brawling, but I'm also, because I do create content, I'm trying to level up 1 robot, one of every single robot in the game. That takes a lot of resources. because I want to be able to, you know, try different builds or try different things, you know, and then I have to get all of the weapons and I have to level them up, and I have to balance between, you know, I have to balance, am I, you know, upgrading my main hangar to play, or am I doing it to create some content? So, you know, I'm in a different boat. I know that's happening
Right.
because of my choices, but I can also see, I know other members have, you know, guys have joined our clan that I mean, I don't want to throw Doc out there under the bus, but you know, when he first joined the clan, he had like one hanger, I think, but he had all scourges and all, you know, shock train. And we're like, why? And he's like, oh, well, somebody told me these are good weapons. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't want to have an entire hangar and your only hangar full of those weapons. You need to have some diversity, you know, there, it's, and we, you know, we're helping him out, and he's working on it. But man, I can only imagine how many resources just got drained out because he had those leveled up.
I'm very proud of the progress that Studley has made.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
No, I mean,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sylvan. Finish your point.
He was similarly equipped to what Doc came to us with, where he saw all of these weapons and he saw all these fancy bots, and he went out and he got all of them, and he had 3 hangars, and he had a hangar for this kind of map and a hangar for that kind of map, and none of it was working. And Chief and I sat down and talked to him and said, concentrate on one hangar, put together one hangar. You don't need more than one mid-range bot. The rest should be brawlers. And he went from putting out 400,000 damage a game to, I see him putting out 1.2, 1.4 million a game now. It's like it's a learning curve. And if you're willing to go out there and listen and learn from those who came before you, it's going to be that much easier.
Right. And I know Brian, you know, Brian is a good guy to have on the show, especially in relation to dealing with the economy, because he puts in a lot of hours, and most of it is farming silver. And I know for sure he's definitely got some ideas on how to get silver. He definitely knows how difficult it is to get some silver. And you know, I don't know if he has maybe some pointers that he can share at some point in this live stream. You know, that would be great. But you know, I
do actually. I was just going to talk. So there's a couple things I wanted to say about the economy first. First of all, I think players are always like, you know, demand silver increases now. Pixonic changed something, they want it now, but they don't necessarily, and I'm not saying I do either, but they don't understand the whole picture. Pixonic has a roadmap and they're following, and things take time. For example, when they changed the black market, and you know, everybody complained there's no more keys in the drops, but then they lowered the amount and the prizes got better. But so we never know what's coming and exactly what Pixonic's looking at. And I think what people forget is when they think of only themselves. Well, I'm not making enough silver. But Pixonic has to look at the player base as a whole. They have to look at everybody from the guy who logs in once a week to the guy who is on 8-9 hours a day. And if they increase payouts for the guy who plays 1 hour a week, that will be greatly multiplied for the guy playing 8 hours a day. So I kind of also try to remember from that perspective that they have things that they see a bigger picture than we do. So I always try to remember that when I'm thinking about things that they should do or need to do or that I would want.
And that's
kind of, no, I was just going to say what I wanted to say about that, and I'll let you say something, Chief, and then I was just going to talk about like maybe some suggestions for farming silver.
Sure. No, I was just going to say, that's a great point that you brought up, that Pixonic has a roadmap, and I'm sure that there's planning. I mean, I used to do planning when I was in the military. I helped plan overhauls of nuclear aircraft carriers, at one point. So, I mean, I know the complexities that are involved with, long-range planning, and, you got to have A, B, C happen, first before you can jump over to Z. And it all has to kind of work in harmony. And I know even I, as a player, I overlook that sometimes. And I have to believe that they do have that plan though in place, and they're trying to follow it to the best of their ability. They do seem to be a little behind as far as they're really quick to implement a change that appears, at least publicly, to benefit them as a company, but they're very slow to implement a change that seems to benefit the player base. So, but eventually those changes do come, and there has been a lot of progress made, even with the economy. Silver has improved. Why? Based on there's more health, more weapons, more damage. We're getting more done. We're having frequent 2-3 million damage matches. That equates to silver. Is that the big number that we want to see when we do 500k damage in a match? No. But they do have a plan, and maybe somebody should, from Pixonic, could be a little more vocal about what they're planning long range, because we don't get to see that. But go ahead, Dark Warrior. I just wanted to kind of mention that.
Okay, so I'll kind of just talk about some things in no particular order on how to get silver. As far as squatting play, a full squat is not the best way to get silver. It's actually a duo, and you want to be careful. You always want a duo with somebody around your level, because you don't want to get sucked up in the games you're not ready for. So running a duo, because you have one other person that you can definitely count on, and two people on comms who are in sync is usually enough to win a game. Duoing is when you want to run boosters and you want to move the games fast. So you want to, go for your beacons, go for your damage. Try not to, it doesn't always work this way, but try not to have the games where you're just sitting back and waiting. Try to push, try to attack together. Make the best out of those silver boosters, and run the honor boosters, because the honor crates have silver. Run the key boosters if you can, because even if you're just opening the $100 one and you get a patent, you sell it for silver. That all helps and works. So running the duo is really good, and like I said, that's really important. That's the time you want to run silver boosters, not when you're solo, because I was, at one time I was running silver boosters all the time, but what I kind of found out is solo games tend to really drag out and are really an inefficient use of boosters. You want to use silver resource boosters when you're moving along and chugging, so you get the most games fit in. But I would say that's high damage weapons, Terrans, Lockdown, Halo, Corona, no Arbalest, no Hydra, no Chimera. Those kind of weapons where you're sitting way far back and you don't even see them, that's not going to get you silver. That's only going to leave you in a situation where you're in your first bot, your whole team's maxed out, and then you're the guy who spawns your 5 bots with the enemy team all around you in a circle. So getting those high damage weapons, that's what you want to focus on. That's what you want to level up. Weapons higher than robots, weapon levels are what's most important. So,
Brian, might I interject briefly?
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with somebody who was expounding on how much he loves his Ballista Spectre, and he loves being able to stay on the fringes of battle and just snipe at people from 1,000 meters away. And I said, great, I'm glad you're enjoying the game. He said the problem is, when his team wins, he gets +2 to his ranking, and he's really kind of down there in damage. And when his team loses, he gets -22 to his ranking because, well, he was in last place. I said, I understand this is the type of gameplay you enjoy, and I don't want to take that away from you. But this game does not reward that kind of gameplay. This game rewards getting in there, getting up close, getting in their face, and doing damage. That's what this game rewards. And some people don't get that.
Right, and playstyle does really have an impact on how well you might rank out. And it kind of depends on the game modes too. Some game modes do reward a little more for brawling, and some a little more for what most of us would call camping. And I think BR and domination, well, BR especially is much more brawler friendly. And domination is kind of a good mix between brawling and camping most of the time. But TDM seems to be, if you're into to camping, I think that's your game mode.
TDM for sure. That's your game mode. But you just, all you have to do is when you play a match, you have to look at what all the high level champions are doing, and they're not sitting back. And that right there should tell you what you should be doing, because they're the ones who have the weapon levels and the bot levels and the silver. Because that brawling damage is what wins the game. And there are people who, there's a lot of YouTubers out there, and some specialize in certain modes, and you got to be careful, because you might see a weapon that looks good, but it doesn't play well in Beacon Rush. It may look good in a game, or they may release a video of it, but you never know how many hours of footage it took to get that. It is always the high damage in your face weapon that you want.
And that's a good point you bring up too. You got to be careful what you see on YouTube and how that relates to what you can actually do in the game. Most YouTubers do their best to put out the best content, and in most cases, people want to see wins. They want to see high damage. Most people don't want to log into a YouTube channel and see them getting wrecked constantly. Well, unless you guys are watching my channel, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, I mean, be real careful what your expectations are. If you see, for example, a YouTuber that might specialize in using old robots and old weapons, and they show you a 2 million damage match. If it's MK2, that's as strong as you can get it, and I guarantee you, somebody that has half a skill and full MK2 weapon and even old robots, they're going to do well. But most players are not that person. What do you think, Sullívan?
I think that anyone can get good as long as they really honestly try. It's not easy. Here's the interesting thing. If you ask people how they rank as far as players go, I'm sure, and I'm making this statistic up so it's not correct, but I'm sure you'd probably get 60, 70, 80% of people who would rank themselves as an above average player. Like, I'm good. Well, that's not realistic. You can't all be above average, because that's the rule of average. There's got to be people who are down at the bottom. Now, the people who are down at the bottom, I would like to think, are those people who don't read up, who don't watch videos, who don't really think about what they're doing. And the best way to get good? Play the game. The game rewards you by paying you in silver, and the more you play, the more silver you get. The better you do, the more silver you get. The more you win, the more silver you get. So the way to make silver is to get good. Now, if you want to make this your hobby, and I've had some quite expensive hobbies in my lifetime, and I continue to, if this is considered a hobby, then you shouldn't mind spending a few dollars on it. If it's not a hobby, and if it's just something you do to pass the time, then you can't complain if you lose the game. You can't complain because, this guy who paid a whole bunch of money beat me only because he paid a whole bunch of money. Well, all right. So you have the handicap of you played the game without all the fancy bells and whistles. How good can you do without all the fancy bells and whistles?
Well, you know what? Was it Shit You Not, which he's talking about. I think he was referring back to enjoying watching me get wrecked. I would not do half as good as I do if it wasn't for that ice cream, just so you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So as players, I guess what we can do to help improve our own income in the economy is just work on our skill, work on getting our hangars set up a little bit better, maybe improving a build, ask for advice. Most YouTubers, I'm no expert. Really, I'm not an expert. But you know what? I have a little bit of knowledge, and if I can help or give advice to somebody, I'm more than happy to do it. And I think most YouTubers are. If you have a way to reach out to them, ask them. I know Adrian, heck, he's bending over backwards right now answering questions and stuff, and it's not even his stream. But hit us up, ask questions. That guy in your clan that always does well, find out how he's doing it. It doesn't hurt. There's steps we can take on our own to improve the economy. And then, we do need to keep pressuring, Pixonic and letting them know, hey, you need to adjust the silver. If that's get rid of the repair costs or, whatever the case is, whatever it is they need to do, maybe we can send them in-game recommendations using the in-game help menu. I know they do accept recommendations. They give you the standard reply, thank you, we'll pass it on to our development. But you know what, I'm sure that actually does eventually get passed on, so use it. Those are tools that we have.
They are definitely listening, and right now the economy is messed up, and I understand that people are pissed off about it, but right now, until they fix it in some way, and they in some way, the best way to get back is listen to what Brian said. He knows what he's talking about. Do what he suggests and play. Get better. As you get better, the silver gets better. It's just the natural rule of things.
Get an understanding, Islanders saying, get an understanding of the bots you use and you will do well. And that's true. Islander kicks ass on his videos using a HOHSBD, which to me is old school because I've only been playing less than a year. But that's an old bot. You really don't see them too much, in like Upper Champion League. So understand it, pilot it well, and you'll do better. Adrian says repair costs won't solve the problem. We need more than that. Absolutely right, but we need to take steps, and that's, I think Pixonic is real cautious to flood the market, which, looking back, remember when they introduced Workshop 2.0? Man, did everybody get just about every robot and weapon they could. It was cheap, it was fast, and people took advantage. It flooded the market, and they had to pull back on it. And then everybody's like, oh, that sucks. But, they needed to do it. To keep the game healthy, they have to do it. And I get that. Oh, Dark Warrior Mrs. Nightbot, I'm sorry.
Nightbot and I were going out for drinks later.
All right, so, I guess the consensus for us, and it looks like most of the viewers, is economy sucks. It needs some improvement. At least a couple of us believe that Pixonic is, albeit slowly, working on improving the economy. And I'm not sponsored by Pixonic. I don't get paid. I'm a nobody. Okay, but sorry if my dog is barking. But I'm a nobody in as far as the War Robots community. So. But I can tell you that I do see, even in the short time I've been playing, I saw the economy kind of really suck and slowly start getting better. But now the next part that's going to suck has to do with pilots, and that's going to be gold. Gold will disappear, and there's not enough in the economy right now to support pilots.
I just recently changed my tactics when it came to chests. I have been saving up my keys, and I've been opening up gold chests up until very recently. And now I'm not getting anything that I really need or want out of gold chests. And I've switched back to bronze, and I'm getting, little bits here and there. I'm getting gold from the bronze chest. They had it previously, and they've changed it, and it's definitely better. Again, you're going to have to work to make gold. If you're free to play player, you're going to have to do your tasks daily. You're going to have to try and come in first place as far as damage goes. You're going to have to try and get all the beacons if you possibly can. But also bronze chests will help. And will it be slow? Yeah, it'll definitely be slower than slapping down $100 and collecting a few thousand gold that way. But if you're free to play, you've got to understand that, people who are paying are going to be doing better at it than you are, simply because they can afford it and you're more casual. I understand people will get pissed off at that, and I understand that, and they're more than welcome to. But that's my humble opinion.
Well, and we're talking about keys and super chests. Keys are another currency. They're also part of the economy, and what you get out of these chests, be it whether it's bronze, silver, or gold, those are a form of currency too. Even if it's a robot, if you get a robot, well, guess what? You just saved a boatload of silver over having to make the robot, right? Or you can sell the robot for anything from a couple $100,000 to a few million silver. But keys were removed from the crates, right? And the battle reward crates, and that sucked. It absolutely sucked. Made it very difficult. I mean, for a couple of months there, it was almost impossible to get a super chest, and I play a lot. They made adjustments to it, and guess what? This month I'm gonna get 3 super chests without paying for keys. I pay a lot. Sully has a good point. The more you put into it, the more you're gonna get out of it. But a point that you made, it really made me stop and rethink, because I usually wait like you did and to save up the keys to open up that gold chest. But I think if I'm looking for gold or silver, I think I would probably be better off opening silver chests, because there's a higher chance of, I think, getting gold even if it's less gold, and I don't need any of the bots or weapons that are in the gold chest. So I don't know. And Adrian mentioned that the bronze ads or bronze chests are worth more if you open them with an ad. Yes, that is true. I believe somebody calculated it out, and it's worth 15 keys if you open a bronze chest using an ad instead of spending the 10 keys to open it.
So that'll get you to a super chest faster.
Well, and that's why I'm going to get 3 this month, because I play a lot of games and I use every single ad towards a bronze chest.
So you're saying the more you play, the better you'll do.
No, that's not what I'm saying. The more you play, the more chances you'll have to open a bronze chest with an ad. I'm not going to say you'll do better. Alright, I feel like we've been... no, I don't want to... I don't want a mender from a super chest. Please, no more menders.
Adrian asked what your best prize from the super chest was.
Oh, what was my best prize from the super chest? Gosh. I think at the time, and this is going back to when it was, the time, I think at the time it would be getting it was when I got a Mercury out of a super chest. This was months and months back. And it was right after the big rebalance, and Mercuries were, the in bot, Spectres were out. And yeah, I just hit right at the right time, and it wasn't components. So, yeah, I think that was probably the best one. The worst is getting 3 or 4 menders in a row on super chest. I love my menders, and I have a couple leveled up. But please, no more menders in the super chest.
I just opened up a super chest, was it last night, the night before? And Rock was online with me while I opened it. And I got an Imperial Hades. I think that was probably the best thing I've gotten from the super chest. And it's renowned. Everybody in the clan knows this. The worst super chest I ever got was when the Spectres were hot. I opened a super chest hoping for a Spectre, and I got a Galahad. What about you, Brian?
Best prize? I don't know, because, I guess I got a green dragon last night. Because mostly I just sell what I get.
Yeah, I found out that the green dragon is only 2.6 million.
Yeah, a little disappointed in that, but I'll harvest it for silver.
Oh, if you guys haven't noticed, there's definitely a tier system that Pixonic is using now for, at least for robots. Tier 1 is the really cheap robots. Could be, even a new one, but that's things like the Bolt or the Red Dragon. Is your middle of the road robot. The Green Dragon only gets 2 passive module slots, right? And then the premium is tier 3, and that's, Ares or any other good, or what they want to say, expensive bot. And they do that with pricing too, so take a look at that. And you'll see that it's very much a tiered system now.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, you saw videos 12,500 keys. Yeah, it's only they lowered it. They lowered it, I think, 2 updates ago, to 8,700 or 8,900. I don't remember. I'd have to look back at their official video, but they absolutely lowered the key requirement for super chests. It used to be 12,500. All right, so let me scroll through chat here. Any viewers have any questions or anything you want to share your thoughts? I mean, I haven't really. I've tried to go through the chat here, and I probably missed some comments. But what are your thoughts on the economy? Is it getting better? Do you have any ideas of how to fix it? I don't know. Or pilots. What do you guys? I mean, the consensus seems to be pilots are kind of a mistake. A couple of us think they're going to be a good thing. Myself included. I'm looking forward to them. So.
I think they'll be neat. I'll definitely buy them. Maybe could have been done different, but it's a pilot we're hiring, and I think the customization will be neat.
I'm telling you, it should have been a droid with a voice that you can customize. How many people don't? How many of the Oh, let's get in touch with the people that you had last week here on this podcast, and let's ask those women how many would like to have Hugh Jackman's voice in their cockpit with them, or James Earl Jones, or Sean Connery, or these are way too old. Zac Efron. I think they missed out.
I think mine would have to be Samuel L. Jackson, but he would only have one line, and I'm sure you guys know what that's going to be.
Oh, from that one movie.
Yeah, it'd be only 2 words. Really?
I'm at a loss.
Motherfucker.
Oh.
Oh, so you want the Samuel Jackson AI?
Yes. That would be the one. But yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. But you know what? Something too. You're talking about, we could have customized voices or whatever. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe that's something that Pixonic could have done. But something that I noticed playing this kind of a game, even though it's robots or whatever, we didn't have our own avatar. Most games that you play, especially first-person shooters or whatever, you have an avatar, a character, and I mean we have a character name, a player name, but there's no picture, there's no customizable, this is what I want to look like, this is me. And maybe they should have done that and let us say that that's our pilot, and they could still have the restrictions. They can have a legendary version that goes into a certain bot or whatever, but let's put my picture there. I don't want Kyle Rogers, I don't want his name, I don't want his backstory. I'm flying it, this is what I look like. Okay, I have a legendary version of me that flies this, Al June, and I have a legendary version of me that pilots this Strider. You get what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I understand what you're saying. I think that would have been better than the Kyle Rogers and what we're getting, but I still think I would like to have a robot like C-3PO in the back who sounds like Bobcat Goldthwait.
That's a name I haven't heard for a while.
Just shows how old I am.
Cue Ball's pilot would have the voice of Cartman.
Rock says Stan's voices go to robot needs a repair.
Robot
needs a repair.
I hope my pilot Stan would be wearing that Christmas sweater.
Oh gosh, that thing.
I wish they would have sold that. I would have bought one in a heartbeat.
That would win the ugly sweater contest for sure.
Oh, guys, I have the pilot voice for my Hellburner. It's got to be Manny.
Manny.
In a rage.
You got the Triple M Manny Mini meltdown going.
I mean, come on, that's perfect for a Hellburner, don't you think?
It could be, definitely. Yeah, go from nice and calm to a little angry. Yeah.
The pilot of my Ao Jun would have to be Adrian, though.
I don't know. I think you and Rock could probably sell some dubs of your voice to Pixonic for a few of the ladies to listen in on.
I'm on it. Stan, get in contact with Chief.
Rodney Dangerfield. Now that's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or Sam Kinison. How about that one? Ooh. That would be
God,
good.
Yeah.
So most of the viewers probably have no idea who we're talking about, but
Sam Kinison for a pursuer as it goes into assault mode.
Mm-hmm. That would be hilarious.
See, they missed the boat.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, so we've kind of covered a lot of ground here with talking. I mean, and we're just sharing ideas. There's no right or wrong, and I want the viewers to understand that. I'm not going to silence any viewers. Nightbot was doing that. I killed him. He's gone. Okay, use the caps. That's fine. I don't care. But we covered a lot of ground. Came up with a couple of recommendations that some people might be able to implement. It's not a solution to the economy. Pilots are coming no matter what we think, no matter what we do. They're gonna come next week. Morgan Freeman, nice. We can't change what Pixonic's business model is, and we need to understand that as consumers, because that's what we are, consumers. Whether we pay or not, we're still consumers. So we need to just try to make the best out of the product that we have, and this is a game, and that's kind of what I want to focus on. I'm a YouTuber. I'm not a great player. I'm not anything. I just like to have fun, and I want to share that with you guys. But it can be frustrating, but let's focus on the fun. Let's remember this is a game. You play this game, you use it as a product. Sure, it is. There's a business model. We got to deal with it. But you know what? I mean, if you get wrecked a little bit, you only get $250,000 silver or 100,000 silver for a match that you did real bad in because somebody was OP. Whatever, And if that person paid to have an OP hanger and skip and go up a little bit faster than you know what? That's fine, because you know what? He probably didn't get much silver out of that spawn raid either. But he paid a lot more money to do it. Like when Brian spawn raids me, or Adrian. Because it happens all the time, trust me. But, but at the same time too, Adrian has put silver in my pocket. A piece of advice. He was one of the first YouTubers that I found, and way before I even thought about making a video. And I remember to this day, he says when you're getting spawn raided, try to get a second beacon, so you have an out, another place to spawn. If you can't do that, just get through your bots as quickly as you can, because when you mech out, having a bot in your hangar still, it doesn't do you any good. Get your damage. Get your damage. Try and be in that top 3. And it's good advice. It helps. If I get spawn raided, I'm usually in the top 3. I don't lose a whole lot of points. And I make a little bit of silver. It does suck when it happens, 8 out of 10 matches. But, sometimes some nights like that, it gets so stupid. We just laugh about it. And you know what? Screw it. We're just hit the go button. If we get another, OP squad, it is what it is.
Yeah, it happens. It happens to everybody.
Let's see, Raja. What's the benefit of pilots for pay to play? Well, they are going to streamline the pilots. I think the top squads, and this is something that if you're a free player, that's cool. Save your gold. Work towards getting the pilot, maybe hire a pilot, maybe start getting a little bit of experience on that pilot, but don't start dropping a bunch of gold trying to train that pilot up to do these different things. Give it a week or 2 or more and find out what builds actually work. Because, throw in the extra health and then the faster, reuse on your ability or something on a strider, it may not be the most efficient thing. But you know what? These guys that drop $1,000 as soon as pilots come out, they're gonna figure out real quick what those best builds are, and you're gonna find out. So that's what I recommend. Be careful with your training on pilots, because gold is not easy to come by. Let them spend the gold for the trial and error.
Standing on the shoulders of giants. See the people who come before you, watch what they did, don't make the mistakes they made.
All right. Well, seems like Brian. Did we leave you out of half of this, man? I hope I
No. I mean, I got my points in. I
yeah,
just, I don't know. I'm trying to overcome my shyness, but it's still always there. I mean,
shyness. You're not shy.
yeah.
To us, maybe.
I don't think I talked in squad for the first month in Vox. Mostly because I was shocked at what I heard.
Brian, here's the secret. I told Chief this before we got online. I got a little bit of lubrication for my lips in the form of a Belgian ale.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, he used the lubricating lips thing, and my mind went somewhere else. But we'll save that for the late night show. Yeah.
We can continue to speak about this topic. I know we've got hours and hours of material, but I don't necessarily know that we need to.
Yeah, and you know, it's pilots are coming, ready or not. Just do your best. Keep tight with your resources. Try not to splurge too. I splurge on paint jobs because I put them in videos. If you can go without a paint job, do it. But if you're having fun and you like to have a paint job on your robot, get it. Who cares? It's a game. Have some fun. But if you're competitive, you probably want to be a little more careful. Um, but I mean, the economy. Brian had some good advice. You know, really just listen to that and try to do the things we can do while we as a community work with the company. That's what we got to do. We got to work with the company, try and get the game nice and stable, and we'll go for there. Get back to having fun.
Don't stress out. Don't get frustrated over the stuff that you don't have control over. Focus on the stuff you do have control over and use that to make your situation better.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just add, I think Chief said it, but I'll just reiterate. When pilots come out, I mean, I know, listen, I'll get them, but I'm not going to rush out and buy 5 pilots the first day. It's going to be a lot to figure out. Make sure you absorb everything. See what kind of